Okay, so uh, good morning, everyone. So today we're going to talk about PubSub APIs. So before we start, I think I would like to get some introductions from everyone. So I will start with Monica. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Um, Hello everybody, my name is Monica and I'm a certified Salesforce administrator and Scrum Master. Um, and yeah, I became interested in Salesforce a year ago and I'm just working towards finding my place in the ecosystem. And yeah, that's about it. Always happy to learn more.
That's great. I see we have Nilesh here. Nilesh, can you hear us? Do you want to introduce yourself? I'm not sure if they have access to talk or maybe not.
Yeah, I don't see myself here either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you don't have access to.
no,
Oh, really?
I just see you, but
Oh, even me actually. So that's okay. I think we'll just get started. But if anyone have any questions, feel free to post it in our group. And we are part of Salesforce Stanford Developer Group. Um, and let me start with my introduction. This is Amol Dikshit, and I'm a Salesforce technical architect slash VP. Also, I presented a couple sessions in Dreamforce, and I'm leading this Stanford developer community group since last almost 2 years now. And also, I've been part of Top Coder Codery board member, and I'm so excited to have you guys here, and thank you so much for joining. So let's start with the PubSub APIs, how the architecture is, and how those API works. So this is a kind of introduction session. Um, and but before we even go further, I want to have this forward-looking statements that tells you that whatever product decisions you're going to make, whatever purchase decision you're going to make, that has to be done based on the current product available in the market. Then we already went through. This is my email. This is my LinkedIn. If you guys want to connect with me, feel free to connect. So yes, so now we're going to talk about PubSub API. So when we talk about PubSub, right? So this is like a very generic scenario or generic concept, wherein there will be one publisher and one subscriber, and there will be something called as event bus. That event bus will act as a coordinator between the consumer and producer. So here, if you take a look at the upper side, so we have like multiple event producer which are producing the event, and those events will go and sit at event bus. And event bus is the responsibility of event bus to provide the events to consumers as the request comes in, and handle it, and make sure that all events are being handled successfully. And if there is any problem, then it has to be handled, is to be also like all the error scenarios must be handled. So event bus is a kind of like medium or coordinator which acts, which takes the events from producer and provides it to consumer. So here we're going to talk about the gRPC API. So the PubSub API, right? So before we got into PubSub API, we had like these standard streaming APIs. They were a little bit standard. We're gonna talk more about it in shortly. But the PubSub API uses gRPC API. gRPC is like the open source remote procedure call. What it does is that enables the connecting devices, mobile applications to our backend services, right? So whatever UI level devices or mobile applications we have, or even browser, whatever we have, that enables the connection to the backend services. And also, like with the gRPC, client app can call a method on server as if it's a local object. Example, right? So if you're on a server, an example like, have you guys heard about the methods like, or like functions in Java, or like if you are working on JavaScript, then you might have heard about functions. So the way function works is like, if you want to call the function, you're going to pass the parameters to it, and you will call the function. And as soon as the function operation is done, it will return you the the desired data. Or if you don't want it, you can always have it void. But that's the basic concept here. But in this case, what happens is like we have the grpc stub on client side, and we have the grpc server. So the stub will have almost identical methods what we have on the server. So that way a client app can call the method on the server as if it was the local object. So that way you don't have to call anything on the server because we have the stub ready. So it's like very easier for you to create the distributed apps and services. Also, like gRPC requires defining a service which specifies the methods that can be called remotely with their parameters and return types. So this is the exact same thing, same concept we have with the functions or methods, wherein like you can pass parameters remotely, and we have to define the return types as well. So that way it will be easy for the client subscriber to get the details. And as I said, like the client has stub that mirrors the methods available on the server. So you will find the exact methods in your stub on client subscriber side. So here we're going to talk about the single event flow, how the event flow happens. So in this case, the basic concept is like the gRPC or PubSub APIs, they work on the pull-based model. So if you think about the standard streaming APIs, they were based on the push model, right? So in this case, what it does is the client has to ask for, or a client has to fetch a request for multiple events. So the way it works, you have to subscribe for an event asking for a number of events, example like 100 event, 200 events, or whatever. But with the PubSub API, we have a limitation of 100 events. So at in a one call, you can ask for 100, at most like 100 events. So right now, if you take a look at this particular diagram on your screen, what it shows you, like we are having like fetch request. So it is doing one-on-one. So our client is asking for one event, and Salesforce event bus is giving me one, is giving me the whatever one event is available. Then once the first event is successful, the first event has been pulled, then client will ask for next event. Then the fetch response will send you the one event. So this is like the one-on-one kind of very very simple basic event flow, wherein if you take a look at it, so example, the if the Salesforce event bus has generated one event, and your client sees that okay, we have one event there, so it will just pull it, and that's it, the operation is finished. In this case, we are just saying only one event at a time. Now we're going to see the basic flow, wherein our fetch request is asking for, our client is asking for the 100 events at a time. So what it is, so when a client says I want 100 events at a time, or like give me the 100 events, what it will do is it will wait until my 100 event request is fulfilled. For example, right? So my client has requested for 100 events, and Salesforce event bus has generated example 50 events for now. So it will pull the 50 events, it will successfully execute them, and it will wait for additional 50 events because our initial request was for 100 events. So that way our client will continuously wait and pull and check if anything is available. So if we take a look at it, if next 20 events are available, it will just pull. If 30 events are available, it will just pull. So as soon as our 100 events are done, so that request is successful or like it will be fulfilled, and then client has to have another request for next set of 100 events, right? So this is the basic flow. And then we have the complex flow, wherein, example, I have asked for 100 events, and my Salesforce event bus has responded me with the 60. And if you think about it, like right now, the event bus has given me only 60, but I still have 40 more events to get. But meanwhile, my client has asked for another 60 events. So in total, now it's 160. Out of 160, the like 100 events are done. So now if you take a look at it, I'll have like more 20 events, then I'll have 80 events. Then once that is done, everything is done, everything has been fulfilled, then client can ask for additional 100 events. But if you take a look at it, at any point of time, we can have only the request for 100 events. So in this case, you can only ask for 100 events at a time. And this is the part of the complex flow. Is anyone have any questions around this before we move forward? I'm just gonna take a look at the chat. Oh, I think she's saying we do not have access. I'm not sure what's happening here. I thought like everyone will be able to talk,
I
but
got an error for some reason.
oh really?
Mhm.
Okay, so
It
there,
didn't tell me why, it just got an error.
got it. But you guys are able to hear me, right? So that's
Yeah.
fine. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, maybe you guys can just post it in the chat. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening with this, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to post it. Maybe Monica, you can tell me if there are any
Yes.
questions around that. I tried to keep this presentation short because I don't want to bore you guys. So next thing we are going to see like the PubSub APIs and the traditional APIs. Excuse me. So as I was talking to you, right? So PubSub APIs are a pretty new concept right now, and we had the streaming APIs, which for which like we are right now seeing the differences between both of them. So the way the event encoding used to happen with streaming APIs, we used to get all the encoding in the form of JSON, but right now with the PubSub APIs, we are getting in the form of binary, just like Apache Avro. The protocol which we are using is gRPC and the protocol buffers. That's the new concept which we are using right now. And with the streaming APIs, they used to use the Comet D and implementation of BIX protocol. For subscription model, as I told you guys, like when streaming API was there, it was the push-based model. The server delivers event available in the event bus. But in PubSub API, the way it works is like it is pull-based. So client requests the number of events to receive as they become available in the event bus. So it's like a pull-based. So you, as I showed you guys in the previous slides, the client was asking for events like give me like 100 events, give me like 50 events at a time. So it's a pull-based model, which is like a new and it's been said that it's a little bit efficient as well. So that's why Salesforce is proposing this model right now. Then also like subscription flow control here, as I said, like the client specifies like how many events they want to get or subscribe in one subscribe call. So whenever you subscribe for an event, you can tell I want like 100 events. But in the case of streaming APIs, we didn't have any control, like the amount of events delivered to the from the server. That used to cause the lot of trouble as well because we used to get like tremendous amount of events, which might cause the jam, like traffic jam as well. Then we have the published status. The final publishing results uh, result returns indicates that the event was successfully published or not, or that publish failed. So we have a way to get the results, but with the streaming API, that's not supported. That was not supported because when using data, publish events, the event queuing results is written, and when the resources are available, queued events were published. So we didn't have any uh, access to published status before. And another biggest difference is the bitmap field data in changed capture events. So if in case if you want to see what all fields have changed, we used to get the data in the form of JSON before delivering events to the client. But now with the PubSub APIs, the client has to decode the bitmap field data to JSON. That way, right now everything is coming. Whatever events are generated, that is the data is coming in the form of like bitmap field, and that bitmap field has to be decoded to JSON, and that has to be done by client. So that's another a little bit big difference out there. So as I said, this is what the demo was. Sorry, this is what the little bit about PubSub APIs. So before we go further, I'm going to show you guys a demo, and this demo is all about how to capture the PubSub APIs or uh, how to call PubSub APIs and see how the events are being generated. So let me just share my screen. Give me a second. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so I'm going to. Can you guys see my screen? Okay. So Give me a moment. I'm trying to log in. Okay. It's asking for the verification code. Give me a second. Okay, so important thing is there are multiple ways to do this PubSub APIs. So there are like you can do like change data capture. That's what we call like CDC. Then we can even create the platform events. The platform event is kind of like customized event wherein the uh, standard CDC events, which is like readily available. So if you want to use like CDC events, it's very easy. You just need to go and search for change data capture, and if you go there, you will see all the objects which are available, all the entities available for the change data capture. So before I even go there, uh, I want to tell you one use case scenario which we will try to um, uh, which we try to accommodate or we'll try to implement. So the requirement is, so I have a third party system, example like educational system. And whenever the contact is created in Salesforce, I want to generate an event and tell other system that the contact is created in Salesforce. So please get it and use it and create this contact in other system as well. So in this case, instead of creating another API or instead of having like multiple implementations to call their APIs, to call our APIs. So here what we are saying is as soon as the contact is generated in Salesforce, we will generate one event and it is responsibility to our third party system, maybe educational system, to get capture that event and take necessary action. That means the necessary action will be pull the contact information and create another contact in third party system. So in this case, if you had to do it through standard way, you could have just created or like called the third party REST API. Like as soon as you created the contact here, call the REST API or a custom endpoint. But instead of going through all, we can use the PubSub APIs here. So what we are going to do is, my requirement is on the contact. So what I will do is I'll first of all go to the contact. I'll search for the contact and I'll select the contact here and I will click on save. So as soon as I click on save, what it tells is like these two objects should be available for change data capture. So that means if any changes occur on these objects, example like creation of contact, deletion of contact, updation of contract, please generate the event so that third party system can update it on their side. So right now, what we did was we just enabled the contact with this CDC. Now let's go and create a contact. Before we even go to the contact, what I want to see is I want to show you guys. I installed one package. Let me see. I'm just trying to see dashboard, event dashboard. Let's see if we have that package. What's the name? Okay, streaming monitor. Okay. So this is the package. This is the App Exchange package which I've installed. So this package will just help you to subscribe to the event for demo purposes. And that way you will see that the event has been generated and you will see what all things it has pushed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on publish an event. And here I'm going to go for change data capture. Standard platform. So in a second, I'm just trying to see. Generic event. Standard platform event, change data capture event. I think there is some problem. I'm trying to refresh the page because ideally it should be able to. Okay, change data. This is already enabled. Okay, just give me the second. I'm just trying to see what's the matter with this streaming monitor. Okay, sorry. So there was the issue with the package. So right now, if you see right now, what I'm doing is I'm subscribing to stain data capture event. So in this case, I'm going to see the contact change event. So that's the event we have right now. So whenever the contact change happens, if you take a look at the streaming channel, so this is the event which we are subscribing to. This is the standard channel. So if you take a look at, there is a pattern here. So if you take a look at the contact, if you have any standard object, you just need to replace the standard object and suffix it with change event. That will be your streaming channel. And this is readily available with Salesforce. So I'm just going to click on subscribe. So what I did was right now, this particular page is waiting for the events. So whenever the event is generated, you will see it here. So in order to show that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to contacts. I'm going to create a contact right now. And let's see if anything is generated. So I'm just doing this. Stanford demo. And then I'm going to click on save. Here we go. So if you take a look at it, we just received an event for contact change. So as soon as the contact has been changed, we just received this event. And if you want to take a look at it, what we received, I'm just going to click on here. So right now, if you take a look at it, the local time was this 11:32 a.m. This is the channel which we just subscribed to, and this is the replay ID. Replay ID is for in case if you miss to process this event, you can always reprocess this. You can just ask for this event details again and process that on your client side. So if we take a look at the payload has all the information, including whatever fields we had, like name, first name, last name, salutation. Then this is the change event handler. It has the entity name called as contact. It has a change type equal to create. Then it tells us like whatever fields has been changed. So right now the change fields JSON or this array is empty because this is a create operation. So in create operation, nothing has changed. So everything is like you will see all the information here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some update here on this contact. So we'll see if the edit event is generated or not. So I'm going to change the last name to demo one and title to CEO. And I'm just going to click on save. If you take a look here, we just received an event, and that is for the contact change event. Let's just take a look what happened with this event. So this is for the update operation right now. Initially, the event which we received, that was for the create operation. Right now, it's with the update operation. So it tells me that there are multiple things have changed. So the change fields section will have all the updated fields. That is including the title, last modified date, and last name. That's what it tells me, that three fields have changed. This is the channel, and this is the record ID of the contact, and it gives you all the information. So this is the PubSub API uh, demo for the CDC, change data capture. Is there any question here? Anything? I mean, if you guys have any questions, feel free to post it on channel. I'm not sure what's happening with the audio because ideally everyone should be able to talk, but I don't know what's happening. But I'll take care of it later. But yeah, in the meantime, if you guys have any questions, feel free to post me. Uh, but yeah, I mean, this is what we had, and then this is our question. Can you guess what do you guys see right now? Nothing. Let me just go back to
The
my
Stanford contact.
yeah. Let me just share it again so you guys will see it. Okay. Okay. So okay. So if there are no questions right now, we can just. I wanted to say thank you, and before we say thank you, I wanted to tell you guys we have swags for everyone who attends in person. So today's swag was the backpack, and the Monica has been with this group almost like a year. So and she's in person right now. So she's going to get the Trailhead backpack. That's a really pretty nice backpack. And also, if you guys join in person next time, you guys will get the backpack too, or like we'll have different kind of swags for you guys. So thank you so much for joining, and please.
There's a question.
Oh, sure. Yeah. What's the question? Let me just
Can we
see.
specify a filter slash condition with selected entities?
Yes, that's a great question. So, if you want to provide the filter, you have a way to create the custom channel, and you can do that. And the way you add your filters in SOQL query, you can definitely add it. And but it won't be possible with the help of like standard UI. What you'll have to do is you'll have to create the custom channel. That custom channel will give you flexibility to add two things. First one is like filters, like whatever filters you want to add. And another thing is that there is a thing called as enhanced fields. So enhanced fields is the one wherein example, right? So whenever any update occurs, instead of having only change fields, I want to have certain external IDs to be always present in that request or event. Then that is possible to do that. But yes, we can always add the filters to it. But that was a great question, though. Is there any other question? And if you want to take a look at it, like how that works, I can just quickly show you as well. Just give me a second.
And the videos are always posted online, so when it goes live, I will drop a link in the.
Right.
And you guys can reference it if you would like.
Mm-hmm. I was just trying to see the online if we have any documentation. But yeah, if I don't find anything right now, I'm gonna send you guys the documentation, which will show you like how to create the platform event member or platform event. So I think there are so many different what do we call? There are many online tools, or there are many blog posts around that. I think I just found one. I'm just trying to see if that's the one. Just give me a second. Oops, APIs. Okay, I think that's not the one I'm looking for. But yeah, I will definitely send you guys in our group chat like how to filter those events, because I've done that in the past, and it's definitely possible to do it. So yes, so regarding I just received another request from Nilesh. Sorry, that's a question from Nilesh. So the thing is that the governor limits are not related to the updates, but there is a limit for how many events you can subscribe to, or how many events can be generated in a month or in 24 hours period. So yes, there is one limit that we can always go and take a look at online. But to answer your question, yes, there is an event, but the transaction won't fail in this case. It will always be successful, but the event generation or event subscription might have some issues if you have more than specified number of events generated in that specific duration. But that particular number is pretty high. So for small scale applications or small scale uh, updates, there shouldn't be any issue as such. But yeah, if you have a huge number of records, then definitely you will have huge number of events as well available to subscribe. So there shouldn't be any issue. But yes, there is an a limit for that. Okay, so if there is no other question, I want to see you guys. Thank you so much. And I will see, hopefully, I'll see you guys next time in person and get some swags and some coffee or breakfast, lunch, whatever. And thank you so much. I will see you guys next time. And I'm so sorry you guys couldn't talk here. I don't know what's happening. I thought it was available, but thank you so much again. I'll see you guys next time.